let's say you have a shop or a dealership or a service department or whatever, and I have one, and you're charging $300 a month as a subscription for any maintenance or repairs that are needed on a car, and I'm charging $300, what would differentiate you from me?
You could pick a bunch of things. You could say guaranteed appointments. You could do valet pickup service. Like you could have a 24-hour hotline.
Well, that's a good point, because what will happen is kind of like in certain scenarios with healthcare or in countries that have healthcare, yeah, your kidney replacement's covered, but you got to wait 6 months or whatever it is, right? So, because they're booked out, so you could say guaranteed next day.
Yeah, there's a lot of different things you could do, but you'd want to let them know that. And the end of the day is just, it's about peace of mind and why I'm the best place to do it. But I think it would be really easy to come with a bunch of differentiating factors of why my subscription's better.
You know, insurance companies could get into that. So Geico, they could get into that in a sense, right? They could have their own service departments. Because isn't that what Kaiser Permanente does in a sense, is they're controlling the input and the output. They're saying, pay us for healthcare, but then you have to go to them, and then they're controlling their costs, because if they mark something up, they're marking it up to themselves. So like if you have a normal health insurance and you go to a hospital, the health insurance is like an extended warranty in the sense that they're paying the hospital.
Yeah, and it's all pre-negotiated rates based on the job and everything like that.
Yeah, which is kind of like what is happening right now with, we own Mannheim, we own Cars.com. What else do they own?
KBB. Are you talking about Cox?
Yeah, so Cox owns Kelley Blue Book. They own Mannheim.
Reynolds.
So they're setting the value, and they're controlling the value at the auction. So if cars are out of whack, they can slow roll them and have them sit somewhere, right? They can no sell at an auction, so they can control the value of the cars.
It's also like, if they own it, if they own the auction and the reporting thing, they can make those numbers whatever they want them to for the customer.
Right.
That's so great.
Yeah, somebody at a keyboard can just type in a number. It doesn't necessarily have to be, and we're not saying that they're doing this, but we're saying it doesn't necessarily have to be based on what the auction is doing.
Yeah, who's going to fact check it?
Where historically they were separate entities.
Yeah, that's super interesting.
So if you're an insurance company or you're a parts manufacturer, what would be a better way to control what you can sell the parts for? Like, remember when we had I forget his name, but the kid whose dad started Atari.
Oh yeah, what was that guy?
He owns 2-Bit Circus down here. And so what he was, we were talking about things he learned from his dad or whatever, right? And he was saying that when his dad owned Atari, he would wholesale the consoles, the video game consoles, so like Centipede, Donkey Kong, whatever it was, for like $1,500 to these middlemen that then would lease them or sell them to arcades for $5,000, or sell them to grocery stores. You remember you go through the grocery store?
Or Pizza Hut?
Yeah, there would be one. And he said, what we need is another company that's an arcade that we can sell the machines to for full retail. And so he started Chuck E. Cheese so he could sell his games to Chuck E. Cheese for full retail and cut out the middleman.
And name the price he buys it for.
So I know this is really forward thinking, but kind of think about this in the sense of our industry is ripe for a parts manufacturer, for a big insurance company to come in and say, we're going to include the repair and maintenance, and we're going to open up our own repair facilities so we can control the input and the output. And we only have to do it in LA and New York to start, right? I mean, just think if you had 20 of them in LA and 20 of them in New York, that's enough to prove the concept.
Yeah, and what a great business lesson in terms of the key to success is controlling the input and the output. Like you limit the variables.
Yeah.
That's funny. You know, you were talking about the doctor. I think I'm actually going to get a new doctor because I went to mine last week, and this guy told me, he said, I've got antisocial personality disorder. At least I think that's what he said, because it was hard to hear him over the duct tape.
Good segue.
Thank you.
The other thing that made me think about this, with this car company coming in, is I was doing a strategy session and I was talking to somebody about doing lifetime alignments. So, you know, tire season's coming up.
Yep.
And oftentimes what happens to a lot of service departments in the northern part of the country where snow is an issue and you have winter tires is they will have a huge influx of customers to get the winter tires put on, and they'll have a huge influx of customers to get the winter tires taken off.
Yes.
So it peaks twice a year. And so what happens is that peak will overrun the service department in the sense that you don't have enough people to do everything, and you got $30 an hour techs doing tires because you're so booked up.
That's right.
You don't recommend alignments. You're not selling a lot of breaks. You start taking shortcuts in a sense because you can't handle the volume, but you're losing that work, and they're not coming back 3 months later to get an alignment or the brakes or whatever.
That's right.
And so we were talking about why not do a lifetime alignment, which we've had success with. We have some clients that love that, and it works. And that made me think, like, how much are we going to change where things might be more of a subscription-based thing where you pay us so much, maybe it's a year, maybe it's a month, and then anything you need, you're coming to us, which then is secure for both. It's secure for the shop and it's secure for the customer to know you have both. Thanks so much for watching this clip of Service Driving Revolution. We're uploading new stuff every day, so make sure you subscribe and click the bell icon so you don't miss out. If you have a question you'd like us to answer on the show, call 8333-ASK-SDR and we'll answer your question on the show. That's 8333-ASK-SDR. For special deals on our books and training, head over to offers.chriscollinsinc.com. Now that's offers.chriscollinsinc.com. I'm Chris Collins, and I'll see you in the next video.